Today's practice is centered around the theme of exploring foundation. So everything we're going to do today is focused on how your body relates to the floor, what our foundation in every pose is. The foundation is what keeps us constant and steady. So come stand in Tadasana like Nate is, and you're going to explore the four corners of your feet. So just rock side to side and front to back. And what I want you to start to tune into is the base of the big toe, the base of the pinky toe, and your inner and outer heel. These are our four corners of the feet. So slow down the rocking, slow down the shifting until you feel like you can get all four corners to root into the ground. And for me, I have to kind of kick my heels out a little bit more to feel the outer heel. Sometimes I even lift and spread my pinky toes so I can feel the toe mound on the outer, like the pinky toe mound rooting. Whatever you need to do, and then settle. Firm your thighs, press the inner thighs back, root your tailbone down, lift your belly up, and stretch up tall. Grow as tall as you can from your roots. Stretch your arms up. Exhale, keeping the four corners rooted, fold forward over your legs. Knees bend as much as you need. Try not to rock so far back in your heels as you inhale, half lift and lengthen. Try to stay toward the toe mounds. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, rise to stand. We call this like an Ardha sun salutation or half sun salutation. Exhale your hands to your heart. Four corners root. From that rooting, rise. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand. The roots root down as you rise up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's do one more. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Lengthen on the inhale. Fold in on your exhale. Root down and rise. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Right into Surya A. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Lengthen on the inhale. Plant your hands, so bend your knees to plant your hands. This transition is really important. Step one foot back, then the other. Drop your knees for extra stability. Root the base of the index finger and the base of your thumb. We'll call this it's sort of like an L shape or like a little lobster claw. Root those down and kind of squeeze them in without actually moving them, like you have a little lobster claw, you're trying to grab something. Squeeze your triceps in. And then walk your toes forward a little bit, and you're not going to be able to necessarily get the toe mounds all the way to the floor, but I want you to try to feel rooting not just on your toes, but on the base of your metatarsals. And then lift back up into a full plank. Lower forward and down to chaturanga. Hands never waver. Change your feet, pelvis down, cobra pose. Spread your pinky toes here to hug the outer ankles in, and you're trying to get your pinky toenail to the floor. Whether or not that happens, it's okay. You're going to activate the right muscles if you're working it. Inner edge of the hand rooted, inner armpit back, tailbone down. That was nice, Nate. Back to downward facing dog. Keep your hands rooted, keep your hands rooted, keep your hands rooted. Totally grounded. And you all have things that serve as a foundation in your life. They're people, routines maybe. There's these, how you see yourself, the values that you have. These are all foundational elements to who you are. And the yogis believe, really, and we've talked about this before, that the essence of who you are is your foundation. There is a constant in you, of you. Lift your hips high. Root your hands down even more, like you were growing roots from the palms down past the floor into the ground. Step, or hop, feet to hands. Lengthen on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Root the feet down and rise to stand. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do two more just like that. Inhale and stretch the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Lengthen on the inhale. Plant hands, step or jump back on your exhale. Lower forward and down. Pinky toenails spread as you lift, tailbone down, inner armpits back. That's it, Nate. Downward facing dog. Big inhale. Full exhale, and you know all that work. Pressing the inner thighs back and widening them apart, bending your knees like Nate does, which is great to really create that connection. Take one more big breath in. Step or hop, feet to hands. Nice. Lengthen. Fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more. Inhale, stretch up. Forward fold. You're bending your knees as much as you need. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. I want the hands planted flat. So if they're way out in front of you, that's fine. Plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Curl into your back bend. Outer ankles hug in, inner armpits back. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, step, step, or hop, feet to hands. Lengthen on the inhale, forward fold on the exhale. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Go ahead and grab your blocks. You're gonna put them at the lowest height right outside of your feet. And then step your left foot back for a lunge. And they should fall right underneath your shoulders. And what I want you to make sure of is that they're not half on the mat and half on the floor, but that they're fully on the mat. Squeeze your legs together. So we have the four corners of the right foot rooted. That's our foundation. Hopefully we have the toe mound of the big toe and the pinky toe rooted, but if not, you have some part of your toes pressing down. Push down into all the points that are touching the floor and squeeze your legs toward one another. Create a scissoring effect. Squeeze your legs together so much that the pelvis actually lifts and reach your chest forward. Okay, so this is it, and we're gonna go to the second side, but there's two ways to do it. You can press back to down dog on your blocks, or you're gonna squeeze your legs so much and lift your pelvis so much that you jump switch, left foot forward, right foot back. My friends that just stepped back to down dog, bring your left foot forward for your lunge. Four corners of the left foot root, toe mounds and base of the pinky toe root. You have to squeeze in to lift up. So there's the rooting quality in the foundation that creates a buoyancy in the rest of the posture. So if you root your feet down, the focal point, which is the pelvis, that's gonna get buoyant. It's almost like you're a magician and you're picking up the handkerchief to reveal your magic trick. The bunny has disappeared, you know? So literally, you guys who are gonna go back to down dog, just step back. Those of you who are gonna jump switch, you'll lift up through the pelvis to jump switch. Let's try it one more time. Right foot forward, root the foundation down, squeeze in, lift your pelvis up higher, take a deep breath in, and your exhale is either dog or jump switch. Friends in dog, bring the left foot forward. Be really clear. The four corners of the left foot root, base of big toe and pinky toe on the right foot root, lift the pelvis up, and then maybe you jump switch or we're back in down dog. Good. Friends who jump switched, go back to downward facing dog. Let's clear the blocks off the mat. Lift your right leg up. Exhale the right foot forward for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Back heel flat to the floor and rise up. And bend your back knee as well. Root the four corners of both feet down and squeeze your feet together so much that you feel your inner thighs tone. You can even reach your left hand down to feel your inner left thigh. Feel it like if you can get into the muscles, like dig through the flesh, you'll feel them tone and they're pretty wiry. You've got to dig through the flesh to feel that, okay? And then straighten your left leg all the way, keeping the tone in the adductors. Those are your inner thighs. Bend deeper into your front knee. Keep rooting the four corners down. Hug the midline. Good. Exhale your hands to the floor. Lift your back heel up. If you want to get crazy and jump switch, you can. Otherwise, right back to downward facing dog. Hold there, Nate. Take a big breath in. My friends in down dog, you're going to exhale the left foot forward. Let's spin the back heel flat and rise to Warrior 2. Bend your back knee, but keep the top of the right thigh back. Press your four corners down. So which corner isn't heavy? Make it heavier. Make it stronger. Root down, hug in like crazy. Maybe you reach down and feel the adductors tone again, and then slowly stretch the legs straight. From the pelvis, keep energetically pushing into your feet. From the pelvis, lift and lengthen all the way out through the crown of the head and the fingertips. One more inhale. Everybody this time, hands to the ground. My down dog friends, just right back to down dog. My jump switch friends, lift your back heel up. Jump switch. Down dog friends, exhale the right foot forward, back heel flat. You're probably going to want your block for this one, outside of the right foot. Rise to warrior two. Back heel flat and rise up. Straighten your right leg. Now, before you go into triangle trikonasana, four corners root, hug in. I want you to do 2 shifts of your pelvis. First, you're going to stick your butt back, out, and then shift the right hip back underneath the left as you fold out over your right leg for triangle. I don't love the hand on the shin for this one. It's a really common adjustment. Totally fine to do. Just make sure you're not hyperextending in your knee. I much prefer block right up next to the shin, so move the block a little closer, Nate. Everybody, base of the big toe heavier. Base of the right big toe heavier to draw the outer right hip back. Base of the big toe heavy, pull the outer right hip back. Squeeze your feet together, and then from the pelvis, lengthen out through the crown of the head. One more inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Peel your back heel off the ground. You're in your lunge, back to down dog or jump switch if you want to. Friends in down dog, you'll exhale your left foot forward, spin your back heel flat. Let's rise to warrior two to set up our trikonasana triangle pose. So if you want the block, it's going to be right next to your right foot ankle. You might have to slide it back slightly. Straighten your left leg. I'll grab it for you. Squeeze your feet together from the 4 corners. Charge the legs up. Whoosh. It's like you're putting on Spanx. Some of you might not know what they are, but they're tights, and they like squeeze your skin to muscle, muscle to bone. You want that energy starting from your feet all the way up into the core of the pelvis. And then tilt the pelvis back, and then pull the left thigh bone back, and then fold out for triangle. You just aligned your back and your thighs in a way that optimizes the opening. You have the base of the left big toe rooted, and you're pulling your left thigh bone back. Now, this adjustment's really interesting. The more you root your right hip down into your outer right heel, the more you're going to be able to lengthen through the left side of the waist. So the more you grow roots, the taller. The deeper you go down, the more you can lift up and expand. Take one more inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Clear the block. Friends who jump switch, you could jump switch again, but then we're all back to downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Take a shoulder stretch. Clasp your hands the less comfortable way with the clasp them and then reclasp them with the other thumb on top. 3 breaths to shoulder stretch, yeah. So we're going into some kind of inversion now. So we're playing with the foundation going from being our feet, which is what it normally is, to being possibly our hands. For some of you, it'll be your back. Release your hands. Bring your hands to your hips with your elbows to the sky and slowly come all the way up to stand. So the variations are handstand, L pose, or legs up the wall. So if you are not a handstander, no big deal. You're going to come with your back you're going to lie down on your back with your legs up the wall. We've done this one in the past. There's a tutorial on it, so if you're not clear on that, you can click to that tutorial. It's Vipariti Karani, legs up the wall. All you do is lie on your back and put your legs up the wall. Those of you who are going to practice handstand, come to the wall. Come onto your hands and knees. You want to be at least like a head's distance away from the wall. You don't want to bang your head. Hands are the foundation. That's the whole thing. So root your hands down, make your arms straight and strong. You know all your good shoulder alignment. The shoulder blades will tend to separate, so hug them onto your back. Downward facing dog. Step one foot in about halfway. Toe mounds are grounded. Lift the other leg up. So you have your hands and your toe mounds. You are going to spring off the power of your toe mounds as you play with kicking up against the wall. Play with kicking up. Wow, Nate, that's great. Feel the wavering. You're kind of shifting a little bit on your hands. It's exactly as it should be. It's almost like you're playing piano with your fingertips. You're wavering, wavering, wavering. That's great. You're negotiating the midline. You're finding the middle. Keep rooting, rooting down. When you're ready, hug your legs into the midline more and then lower one leg down at a time. That was beautiful, Nate. Take a second in a forward bend or rest on hands and knees. Time for one more. So come on up. And those of you who'd like to do L pose, I don't want to make a mark on our wall here, but I'll have Nate do it in a moment just for you guys who are maybe not doing handstand. Kick up. Squeeze your legs together. Good. And then Nate, slowly come back down. For those of you who are going to still play with handstand, let me give you time for one more. Nate, let's do a quick L pose. Do you think you can do it against this wall? Okay. So measure a leg's distance away from the wall. So Nate's going to sit with his legs against the wall, and then the heel of his hand is going to come where his butt is, so he's going to scoot to face forward toward the camera on hands and knees, and your hands will face this way, and you'll be in this position. You'll take a short down dog against the wall, and this is the prep for building the strength for handstand. This is plenty, by the way, and you're going to want to walk your hands forward. Don't step one foot up hips height, and maybe you can step the other foot up hips height. Maybe you can straighten your legs, maybe not. You're in handstand from your butt to your fingertips. Take one more big breath in, and then you'll lower all the way back down. Come onto hands and knees on your mat. Take a couple rounds of cat-cow or a child's pose. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. Come to neutral, locate your blocks. We're going to come into pigeon with the right knee forward. Pigeon for the right knee forward. So from hands and knees, your knee will scoot right behind your right wrist. The angle of your shin just depends on how open your hips are. So it's either going to be an acute angle with your foot right underneath your left hip, foot pointed, and some of you will go so far as having the right shin parallel with the front of the mat, and the foot will be very flexed. None of that matters, actually. What matters is that you're getting a stretch in your hip or your thigh, and there's no pain in your knee. If this doesn't feel right, you're on your back doing eye of the needle, right ankle over left thigh. If you have knee issues, you are not probably doing this posture. Point your back foot as much as you can. So the foundation is now your knee, shin, probably the front or the outer edge of your right foot, back knee, top of the foot. And then Nate's already in quite a bit of a back bend, but there's a scenario where you could play with either coming up onto your fingertips or coming onto your two blocks. Bring that to your blocks to your outer thigh knee area, and bring your hands onto the blocks. Squeeze the knees together, lift and curl through the heart. And the more we root down, energetically draw the foundation of the midline, the more energy we'll have up. And then maybe you walk your blocks back further and further. Some of you are going to have your blocks all the way back by your hips, maybe even slightly behind the hips. Take one more big breath in and a full breath out. Hands to the mat. I want you to do cat-cow to transition today. So slide to your hands and knees, really nice and easy, cat and cow. Your arms have done a lot of work, or maybe not, but it seems like they've done a lot of work, especially if you've done handstand and any of that jump switching. You've done quite a bit of work in your upper body. And then the next time you inhale, you're in tabletop to transition to pigeon. So left knee forward for pigeon. And it's that same work. The knee is behind the ankle, so your left knee is wider than your hip. Your foot is pointed underneath your right hip, or the shin is parallel with the front of the mat. Would you fold forward all the way for a moment, Nate? So this is the traditional way we do this pose. We're just working on slightly more intense version of it today, so come back up. You're on fingertips, squeezing your legs together. Make sure your tailbone is rooting. So even though this is a back bend, you're not just dumping in your low back. You're really anchoring the tail and lifting the belly. Walk your hands back to whatever degree you can. Maybe you're using your blocks, as we talked about on the first side, outside of maybe your knee. Maybe it moves back in line with your thighs, maybe back by your hips. Inner armpit back, outer shoulder blade back. Squeeze all the parts of the foundation into the midline to lift up and curl back. 2 more breaths. Last one. And release it back to cat-cow again. Same transition out. Cat and cow. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale to neutral. Point your feet and cross your ankles. You're going to sit behind your heels. This is a little bit of a tricky transition. Sit butt behind your heels and swing your legs out in front of you. Or come to your butt, however is easiest. Janu Shirsasana. No, that's great. So Janu Shirsasana. You're going to fold your right leg in like a tree pose, and your left leg is going to be extended. Give yourself inner spiral. We know this pretty well by now. Internally rotate the thighs using 2 hands. 1 hand on inner thigh, 1 hand on outer buttock. Bring your hands behind you. So Nate's knees fairly elevated, in which case I really favor putting a block underneath the knee so we can guarantee there's no lateral movement in the shin. Lift through your chest. Lift your right arm up. Twist and fold over your right leg to whatever degree you can. Grab a hold of whatever is accessible. You could, of course, loop a strap around your foot, but by no means do you have to do that. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, soften into the fold. Keep rooting your left thigh back. So the foundational element of the left leg is crucial here. The more you root the thigh bone down, the back of the leg down, the more lift you'll have through your low back, and then in turn, the more opening you'll have. Take a big breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, come up, extend the right leg, fold the left leg in. Inner spiral, so 2-hand adjustment, inner thigh, outer hip, spiral the flesh down and widen it out. Great. If your leg is very elevated, lift the block to the height that it supports your leg, that there's no strain through the left side. Stretch up through your left arm, twist and fold. Now, by the way, just being right here, totally upright, you're in a 90-degree angle. That is a forward bend. You don't have to do any more. If you can do more, you go for it, but you don't have to. And don't go past the point where you don't feel like you can ground your right leg and the low back is moving in and up. My friend was telling me that she's made this declaration in her life that she is no longer going to focus on people who annoy her on Instagram. So multiple times a week she'd call me and be like, oh my God, did you see what so-and-so posted on Instagram? And I'm like, oh, that's great. She goes, yeah, I just realized it's just it's not serving me. And it drives me crazy. So I'm just not going to focus on those people anymore. And it seems like such a simple thing, but it's hard to do. And they're not part of her foundation. They're not part of what's making her stronger or expand or grow. They're taking away from that. Inhale, come up. Extend your left leg. Bend your right knee and hug it in toward your chest. And you're going to hold on. You'll lower your right foot down to the floor. And the right foot might only come in as far as your shin. Okay, so wherever it is, it might come all the way up to your sit bone, anywhere in this plane. You're going to hold on to your right knee with your left hand and reach your right hand back behind you for a twist. Press down and back into your fingertips. That's the foundation to help lift your low back in and up. Every inhale, grow tall through your spine. Every exhale, draw your belly in and twist. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale and twist. Good. Inhale and exhale. One more. And exhale. Unwind and extend both legs out in front of you. Just sit for a moment with your hands back behind you. Push down and back. Let the low back move in and up. Bend your left knee. Hug the knee in with the right hand. Your left hand's now already in the right place. Big breath in, grow tall from your base all the way up through the crown of the head. Draw your belly in and twist. Now, if your bottom is misaligned, if you're rounding toward toward the back of your sit bones, you're not going to be able to grow as tall as we like. Inhale, create a ton of length. Exhale, right side back down to the floor as you twist. Flex your right foot a little bit more. Yeah, inhale and exhale. That's it. Inhale and exhale. Let's do one more big breath in, full breath out. Beautiful. Unwind, extend your leg out in front of you. Bring your fingertips behind you. Just one big breath in to lift up through your chest. And then bend your knees. Let's keep it nice and easy today. Just roll on, bend your knees all the way. Roll onto your right side to come lying down onto your back. So scoot forward a little bit more, Nate, so you have lots of space behind you. Happy baby or some version of this. Hug your knees into your chest. And maybe you just hold the knees and take them wide. Some of you can thread your arms to the insides of your knees and grab the outer edge of your foot for happy baby. And Nate's head lifts up just a little bit here, so I'm even going to give him a block underneath his head, which, does that feel good? Yeah, it should feel pretty good. Take your heels over your knees for a happy baby if you can. Feet apart, knees apart. Take a deep inhale, full exhale. Try to stick your sitting bones toward the floor a little bit more. That's it. Big breath in, full breath out. Beautiful. Release your legs for Shavasana. Stay heavy in your body. Just start to deepen your breath. And those of you who'd like to linger a little bit longer, just stay right where you are. Brian Andreas is an artist who I've had in my life for about 20 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. This is a quote from one of his works that speaks to this work about foundation. The world falls apart constantly, and it comes together just as constantly in new and surprising ways, because that's how life works. And it may take some time to come to this, but the only real question is, how will you delight in that? And that's the yogic question. How are you? Who are you? How do you respond to the constant shifts and changes? What's your constant in this ever-fluctuating world? And it's who you are truly at your essence. And this is what this practice is about. Physically, of course, we do all this physical work, but it helps connect us to this idea of what is constant in you, what is unshakable, what can no one else have or be or manifest. It's you, it's who you are, it's the essence of who you are. Stretch your arms over your head. Bend your knees and roll to your right side. And very slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Bring your palms together in front of your heart, and don't worry if you don't have any of the answers to those questions. This is why you're practicing yoga and probably doing many other things in your life. It's to find the connection, to create clarity, to embrace who you are fully. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bow your head to your heart. Namaste.